Now, as far as Suárez, Cap, I have exclusive audio. Apparently, he must have been listening all the way in Arizona, because when I went to the All-Star game, listen what Eugenio Suárez said to me at the All-Star game. I saved this for you, Cap.
How all in is Jed? Because I'm hearing all in means super all in.
Well, actually, I don't think he's super all in, because indications are there's a few trades he won't do. And what I'm getting at is the Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman kind of trade, meaning your top prospect for a rental. He's basically on record saying he's very unwilling to do that. Now, maybe he does it at the last minute, but if Owen Casey is being traded, it sounds like it has to be more for an Edward Cabrera or Mitch Keller guy, meaning someone that's going to be here more than just 2 months. So that is different than 16, when Theo really rolled the dice for a team that had a 99% chance of making the playoffs. They traded their best prospect because they wanted someone to win them the World Series. So I'm not sure he's completely all in, but I do think he's willing to trade anybody in the minors as long as maybe there's some time left on their deal past this year. That doesn't mean they won't be in on Gallen or Kelly or a rental, but I just think he might be reticent to trade Casey for him. But other than that, I think, yeah, he understands it's wide open in the National League. The Dodgers and the Phillies would be favorites in the playoffs, I believe, if it started today still, but that doesn't mean the Cubs can't upset them.
Jesse, along those lines, are they two separate issues with re-signing Kyle Tucker this offseason and what they do at the trade deadline with prospects, or do they play into each other? Because like what Cap and I were talking about like 30 minutes ago about the idea is if you can't re-sign Tucker, but you trade away prospects to go for a championship this season, like does that impact one or the other?
I personally don't think so. You can only deal with what's in front of you. Obviously, he has to think about the future, but I don't think it has to be specific to Tucker leaving. Now, Casey has had some ups and downs. You know, he was hurt last year. He's on a run. He's on a little bit of heater now. He's playing well. But my point is, like, you move. If Tucker walks, I don't know if you just Casey is the next star on the team. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd like him to still be here, but I think you deal with right field when you have to. I mean, Suzuki's turned into a star. He could go back out there. I think they're two separate things. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're tied. I think that it'd be nice to keep Casey, but if he gets you Mitch Keller, Edward Cabrera, or someone like that, and the Cubs feel like they need him to win this year, I think they would do that.
I want a third baseman, Jesse, so I want to put a blockbuster together, and I want Merrill Kelly and Eugenio Suárez. Do you think Jed would do it?
So a couple things. I actually think they're more interested in Zach Gallen. This is something I've learned recently. Surprisingly, the Diamondbacks are getting more calls for Gallen than Kelly, even though Kelly's having the better year. They just feel like the history and his underlying stuff for Gallen is better than Kelly. And I think that includes the Cubs. So let's just switch it to Gallen and Suárez. I don't think they can put a package together for both those guys without completely gutting their farm system. No, those are two rentals, maybe one, and I think they would absolutely choose Gallen over Suárez. But since you brought it up, let's talk third base. You've been talking Suárez for a while. I don't think they're going to hit the home run at third base. I think they're going to go secondary kind of available guy like a Ryan McMahon. Here, first of all, is Craig Counsell on Matt Shaw. Give this a listen.
I think our path with Matt Shaw is like Matt's going to play a lot of third base for us, and that's the plan. So we're going to keep trying to get him, help him get better, and nothing about the schedule or the calendar affects that.
Now, of course, he says that today or over the weekend. That can change next week. But I think they're going to pair Shaw with someone like a Ryan McMahon. He's not hitting great, and he's playing in Colorado, but he is a plus defender. He is a lefty, so he can split time, lefty hitter. He can split time with Shaw. Now, as far as Suárez, Cap, I have exclusive audio. Apparently, he must have been listening all the way in Arizona, because when I went to the All-Star game, listen what Eugenio Suárez said to me at the All-Star game. I saved this for you, Cap.
Hey, Cap, I appreciate the support. It's Eugenio Suárez here. I might be in Chicago in one day. We see.
We'll see.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Jesse, that's awesome, man.
Can you imagine after the All-Star game, I walk up to him and I say, hey, can you give this message to my guy Cap? He's been a big supporter of yours. And he actually recorded that. He's a great guy. His agents are based in Chicago. I've known him a little bit on and off over the years. He'd be a great fit, but the competition for him is extremely
I don't want to hear that,
stiff.
Jesse. I don't want to hear that. He's got 30-plus home runs. He is a stud. He's out of contract. Go get it freaking done.
I think we need to hear that again.
Play it again.
We need to hear that again.
You got it, Potsy?
Hey, Cap, I appreciate the support. It's Eugenio Suárez here. I might be in Chicago in one day. We see.
Okay, so first of all, the Reds
That's awesome.
announcers always call him Eugenio Suárez. It's Eugenio. That's how he said it.
Yeah,
Eugenio.
True. Yeah, I always said Eugenio. Yeah, that's a good point. But the Yankees want him.
I don't care.
Cap doesn't care.
My team's got 59 wins.
I know.
When Paul
but-
Skeens beats the Tigers tonight, and the Cubs hopefully beat the Royals, we're back with the best record.
But if you're trading Owen Casey, it's got to be for pitching. Even your number 2
I
or number
told you
3
I'm getting
prospect.
Merrill Kelly too.
You want 2 rentals, and the Cubs got to give up like five guys from the farm. I don't know. I've told you before. Yes, they would love it, but it's not a priority. Best offense in baseball. It's the number 9 hitter. Obviously, if they traded for Suarez, he wouldn't be hitting 9. But I'm saying replacing the number 9 hitter, much more. I'm telling you, they are really focused on starting pitching. I mean, look what's happening today. By the way, Ben Brown is coming up today. Now, Ryan Brazier is starting the game's opener, and then they're going to Ben Brown. But you can't keep doing this stuff. They threw 2 bullpen games before the break. I think they lost them both. Now you're doing the opener, and Ben Brown coming up from the minors. Now, the Royals can't hit, so this might work out tonight. They've got to trade for a starter. And I think they've soured on Alcantara. I really believe that. 73 strikeouts in 97 innings pitched, leads the league in earned runs. I don't think Alcantara is the guy to get right now. I really don't. You can't fix him in the matter of a few days. So I think it's Keller. I think it's Edward Cabrera. I think it's Zach Gallen over Merrill Kelly. And then there's, Ken Rosenthal mentioned the Oakland A guys like Luis Severino. I think it's guys like that are in the mix.
Jesse, you covered a really good pitching matchup yesterday with Garrett Crochet and Cade Horton. That was a hell of a pitching matchup.
Man, you got to give Horton a lot of credit. I don't think anybody expected him to do as much as he's done coming up when he did after missing a lot of last season. He matched Garrett Crochet for the most part, and then the Cubs bullpen blew it, which is another reason why I keep harping on the Cubs picking up bullpen arms. You can't expect Pomerantz to be as good as he was. I like Thielbar, but I think they need another lefty, a flame-throwing kind of lefty to pair with Palencia in the back end. You saw Presley give it up. I think they're going to do starter and reliever. But, Crochet's a stud. He turned himself into a starting pitching stud last year. The Red Sox love him. He signed that big deal. So, yeah, that was a great pitching matchup. Unfortunately, the Cubs bullpen couldn't hold it. And, yeah, once in a while their offense is going to dip, and it did yesterday.
Hey, I got to ask you a question. This Brewer thing, 10 in a row. Andrew Vaughn has a dozen RBIs in 7 days. What in the H was going on at right field that he looked like Shea could have played better than him, and now he looks like he's an all-pro?
Yeah, I can't answer that other than he seemed kind of disinterested on a bad team, kind of like Luis Robert has over the last couple of years. And then you go to a good one. Gavin Sheets has had success in San Diego. It's kind of in the water on the south side is the best way to put it, which is, you think of Ryan McMahon of the Rockies. Maybe that change of scenery to a contender can make a difference. Teams might be thinking about Sandy Alcantara as the same thing, although the Marlins have played well. I can't answer you why Vaughn was so bad and now so good. But it's the same reason why Sheets did nothing and then was so good, I think. And the same reason why a team is interested in Luis Robert. Change of scenery can make a difference.
Jesse, last week we were talking, I think it was on Friday, we were talking about what to look forward to for the White Sox in the second half of the season. And What you said to me last week was they should be competitive a little bit, and you're watching young players kind of like find their way. How about this last week? A sweep of the Pirates. The Pirates are no good, but a sweep still feels good for the White Sox.
27 you outscored them.
That's what we're talking about, right, Jesse?
Think about a year ago coming out of the break. They stunk. They were in the middle of that long losing streak. I said this back in March, that I thought they'd be bad early as they got their those young players some playing time. But once they got some experience, the wins might come in the second half. And maybe we're seeing that from the weekend. And offensively, man, what a job. And Luis Robert, maybe he is tradable. He's had a hit in every game but one since coming back from his injury. Talkman hits one to the river, and those are the right guys that could be getting hot right now. And I absolutely could see now if Luis Robert has another hot week that he could be traded, where 2 weeks ago I did not think that was possible. I've always said it all along. It's all about this moment in July for players to get hot. If somehow, Alcantara was hot right now, that would make a difference, but he cooled off. So, yeah, I think it's very impressive, and those young players bringing the energy and now turning losses into wins. Here's another exclusive to the Cap and Bleck show. Their first-round pick, another positive for the White Sox, their first-round pick, Billy Carlson, number 10 overall, is set to sign his contract, I think, by tomorrow. Might be a physical today. So Billy Carlson, slick fielding shortstop, should be in the fold, signing his contract in the next 24 hours.
So I was one of those rare people that was locked in on listening to the MLB draft on the radio.
Yeah.
And I heard Jesse Rogers say on the broadcast, Jesse Rogers from ESPN, what's your favorite pick in the first round? And you said Billy Carlson.
Yeah, I did. I'm a really polished guy. I mean, all these kids are so polished. His Zoom was like talking to a 5-year veteran or something. I love the idea of, if it works out in a few years, maybe Colson works out, maybe moving him to third and this guy takes over at short. I really think he could be a top 5 player. He's already there defensively, but you've got to hit to stay in the big leagues or get to the big leagues. He's just a high school kid. I really like the pick. I thought his pick and the pick right after that, I think, who took the Jamie Arnold, this good-looking pitcher. Anyway, I thought the 10th and 11th picks were the steals in the draft from the little that I know about it, but I really like the Carlson pick. He's going to sign his contract today or tomorrow.
By the way, Seth Lugo, he goes Wednesday at Wrigley against the Cubbies from the Royals. Is he getting moved?
The most surprising thing I read today, this morning, go check it out. Jeff Passan and Kylie McDaniel, who's our prospect guy, wrote an updated trade piece, and he had Seth Lugo. They had Seth Lugo being traded at 80%. Now, that surprised me because their GM has been telling everybody he's keeping the team together for next year, in part because they're making a stadium push. But he could. A lot of guys say things, a week or two out, and then when it comes down to it, things change. Passan lives in Kansas City. He's as connected to that team as any team. He says 80%, and I believe it. So if Lugo's out there, absolutely the Cubs would be interested. The Pirates and the Royals are two teams that need young hitters. Owen Casey, Moises Ballesteros, Jonathan Long, Kevin Alcantara, all good-looking prospects. I think you dangle some of those guys to the Royals for Lugo. So I didn't think he'd be traded the way their GM's been talking, but Passan might have some different intel. He put it at 80%. I don't think he had any player higher than 80%. So that tells me something. Read that today at ESPN.com.
Yeah, maybe he won't start Wednesday. Why let the bullets go to waste for the Royals? Just, hey, kid, walk across the diamond.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Yeah, they absolutely want a starter. There's no doubt about it. That's obvious. With Tyon down, even with Tyon coming back, they want one. So that's the first priority. I think bullpen's next, and then third base.
All right, get my guy, my buddy, Eugenio. Get him here.
You got it, Cap. I'll try to get another message to you.
See you, Jess.
Thanks, Jesse.
See you, boys. See you, Chris. Take care.
Jesse Rogers on the Yingling Hotline.
You know what that Andrew Vaughn thing is? You know what that is. We've all been there. You're in a relationship with someone you don't really like, and then you end the relationship, and you're living your best life immediately. Once you leave. That's what that is for Andrew Vaughn. He immediately leaves and is now playing great baseball.
Great baseball.